So, you may remember just a couple of days ago, we were covering the story of one Councillor Bill Barrett, I believe it was. Yes, Bill Barrett. And he was, of course, the cabinet member for highways and transport at Kent County Council. Now, as I'd said at the time, there was this whole rumor going around that Farage had gone down there to tell the leader, look, I need you guys to perform. Like, you have to perform. I want you to be my shining jewel of what Reform UK can be if it is in power. And you need to perform. And anyone who isn't performing needs to be told and let go. And now, as we are now finding out, Bill has come out and said he was ambushed in a cabinet meeting, told that he needs to find cuts in his portfolio, to which he said, well, I can't really do that. It goes sort of against what I believe as a councillor helping, serve my community. To which it became apparently, according to him, as we'll see in a moment, very confrontational, to which he got up and walked out and was told that if you do not sit down and you go through that door, you are gone. Meaning that, yes, as we thought, he was sacked because he would not go along with the reform plan to make cuts. However, as you'll see in a moment, he is remaining a reform councillor, although I don't know why. But there you go. So, yeah, this all falls into place of what we heard, that Farage is trying to focus on Kent to try and make it his crown jewel council. And that, as he says here, Bill Barrett says, I don't think those two things were linked. Farage just happened to, come to a meeting to deliver that, ultimatum. And then he gets sacked because he won't go along with the Reform UK program. Connected seems so. He doesn't think so. However, I really seem to think so, because as he describes, this is a whole top-down system. You do what the leader tells you to do, or else, as you can see here, you're gone. So, as always, before we cover this very intriguing little piece of drama of Reform UK, please do remember, of course, to hit the like and subscribe button, and of course, remember to ring the bell as well. Thank you very much to all those people who do help us support the channel that way. Of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page. There's the Buy Me Coffee link where you can, buy me coffee, the YouTube thank you button, and of course, there's the YouTube membership button down below as well. So thank you very much to all those people who do help and support the channel that way as well. So let us crack on then into this and find out just what's going on here, because this, quite frankly, goes completely against the statements that Reform UK put out saying that this guy was not fired. Well, seems to me it absolutely was, because he would not go through with the Doge cuts that were coming. So, this comes from Kent Online. With Kent County Council's Reform UK leadership is now accused of soundbite politics with rushed spending cut plans by the former cabinet member Bill Barrett. So, a county councillor now claims he was ambushed by Reform UK's top table at County Hall, who he says are now focused on soundbite politics. Councillor Bill Barrett, the former cabinet member for highways and transport at Kent County Council, says that the leadership has now rushed to make an impression with ill thought out plans for spending cuts. It follows as the Ashford Rural South members' removal from the cabinet just weeks into the job on Monday. Again, we talked about that and some of the theories, like, why was this happening? Really odd. This guy was in post for like 45 days and you would just get rid of him. But as they claimed it was just totally amicable and he was not sacked. Remember, that's what they said just last Monday. How a week changes. Anyway, in a statement that was released by the council leader, Linda Kelman, she had said he had been replaced, while a Reform UK spokesperson insisted he had not been sacked. Oh my, the chaos, the chaos. But Councillor Barrett insists that he was sacked after he walked out of a very tense meeting with Councillor Carman, Chief Whip Councillor Maxwell Harrison, and the Deputy Leader, Councillor Brian Collins. He told Kent Online that he's now filed a formal complaint to Reform's National Chairman, David Bull, and to the County Council Chief, Amanda Beer. I wonder what the National Chairman's going to do with that. Just totally, right in the bin, right in the bin. He said there is a very top-down culture. They want everyone to go quietly and along with the leadership and not question things. I wonder why. I wonder why. He said, I think that I did not fit in because I was not nice, quiet, and obedient. I wanted to question things as a politician should. They think it is all about the savings. They are not interested in something if it does not have a pound sign attached to it. To them, it is all about money. Yet politics is more than that. It is about people and communities. Well, unfortunately, my friend, you joined a party that is full on board of the free market fundamentalism. As far as they're concerned, savings, get out the scissors. Trust me, if there was a Reform UK government, this council would be making drastic cuts, far more drastic than we've seen. And remember, we still haven't seen what their full plan is yet. That's for the next big council meeting. So the Reform UK, of course, leadership, which took over after May's election, is now on a blitz to now escalate what it believes is wasteful spending. But Councillor Barrett believes that those saving plans have not been properly thought through and have now been rushed to make an impression because it is all about soundbite politics. He believes that a major problem is that the bulk of Reform UK members in the authorities have no political experience, having been elected as councillors for the first time this spring. Councillor Barrett's meetings with the leadership came just hours after a visit from party leader Nigel Farage. He told Politico he does not believe the decision was linked. I think the decision was absolutely linked. Absolutely linked. Highly suspicious. Farage comes, again, with the rumor going round to tell the leader, I want this to be my crown jewel. You have to perform, putting pressure on them, say, this is what I want doing. Because remember, why is that London office exist? To control the councils and councillors. They're all following the policy that's going to be coming from there, which we've covered constantly, is coming. It's coming, guys. Don't worry, as they will constantly say, all this policy is coming. But I think absolutely linked. But do let me know down in the chat. Do you think this is linked as well? I really do think this is. So the official, of course, statement from County Hall on Monday said that the leader of Kent Council had announced a change now to a cabinet. Linda Carman says that Bill Barrett, who represents the Ashford Rural South, made the decision to step down from his role as cabinet member for highways and transport. As you will see, and as he just said, clearly he did not make that decision. He will, of course, be replaced by his deputy, Peter Osborne, member for Hythe West. In addition to the statement, Councillor Carman also said on Monday that I have today made changes to my cabinet team to support me and to deliver the ambitious plans that we set out to improve the authority and the County of Kent. It is, of course, still early days for the Reform administration at Kent County Council. Reshuffling and, of course, fine-tuning my cabinet is something that I have to do as leader to try and ensure that I have the best possible team around the top table who can deliver on the promises we have made to Kent residents. Every member of my council took on the role and understanding their positions may be subject to changes. However, Councillor Barrett said he had been questioned about cuts in school public transportation. The more you hear about this and what he is saying, like, he has just dished the dirt. He has literally just gone rogue and said, oh no, I was absolutely fired. Like, I was ambushed, as you'll be seeing in a moment. The meeting got really confrontational because I would not make cuts. And I was also being told, to, as again he'll say here, being made to cuts about school public transportation, to which was not under his portfolio. It was under the educational portfolio. But he stressed that it was now under the educational department budget, and of course queried why the education member was not present at the meeting too. He also says that Carmen gave him 1 month to find these cuts from a dossier on the highways department, which officials had drawn up now in recent weeks. Really? Officials? Which officials? That needs to be checked about which officials those are, because I suspect it's that office down in London that gave that dossier. I think that's those officials. Once again, just proving how much control Farage has over these councils. That's not how it should be. But that's how Farage has set it up, so that he has absolute control over these councils. So the Ashford, of course, borough councillor added that he felt the atmosphere was so hostile that he walked out after 50 minutes. He described the meeting as an ambush, and Councillor Barrett told the Kent Online that this isn't a bollocking, it's a preamble to a bollocking. Carmen then told me that if you're going through that door, you're gone. But remember, guys, totally not sacked. Totally not sacked. He stressed that he had never resigned, but took the leadership's threat that by leaving, that it meant he was sacked. Councillor, the chief whip, Councillor Max Harrison, previously said that Bill wasn't sacked and he agreed to leave. It was an agreement. Bill was doing a good job, but there had been no bad blood. He was just a talented individual. We have to make sure that we've got the right people in the right places. Really? If someone tells you that if you're going through that door, you're gone, that is I would say, I would even take that just as he did. Yeah, you're sacked. So, responding, of course, to Councillor Barrett's comments and Kent County Council leader, Councillor Carman said, naturally, it is always slightly disappointing when a colleague who has been given every chance to step up and improve their performance declines the opportunity and instead walks out of a meeting knowing that it would mean they'd lose their position. We now have a new cabinet member for highways and transport firmly in place, and as far as we are concerned, it's business as usual, serving the people of Kent. Yeah, you sack a guy after 45 days because you come to him and say, here's this dossier of cuts we want you to make. To which he turns around and says, sorry, I don't think these cuts have been well thought out. Not only that, you're asking me to cut stuff from a budget that is not under my portfolio. Again, Reform UK, pure incompetence, right from top to bottom. Anyway, and then this is the insane thing that he thinks. Councillor Barrett was, of course, elected to the County Council for the first time just early this year, but he's now continuing as an Ashford Borough Council after 10 years representing the Singleton East Ward. The married dad says he will remain as a Reform UK backbencher as he believes in the National Party's policies. What policies are those, perchance? And then it's so funny because people like lay into him here. So there's someone here. Makes complete sense. All they've got is recycled Farage soundbites. Is there any actual evidence of anything else? They're planning now to waste vast sums in a HQ refurbishment to reduce productivity by ending work from home. Another Farage soundbite. It comes now as a result of their Doge equivalent. Another Farage soundbite. The removal of flags. Another. Nothing original. Nothing based on evidence. Nothing for Kent. Another person wrote about saying he will stay on as a backbencher because he needs the party's national policies. Which they said that claim doesn't make any sense. And they're right. It doesn't make any sense. If Reform can't run a local council, they haven't a hope in running a national government. The reality is that Reform now are just bags of hot air. And when they get the opportunity to put what they say into action, they cannot succeed because either now of the incompetence or what they say is just total BS. When faced with reality, it ends up in a bun fight. I'm sorry, that is just blown up any idea that this was like a fair mutual walking away. Everything we saw on Monday, everything that I was saying on Monday, yeah, that seems to be more going on than meets the eye. Yeah, I think this lends all credence to what we said at the beginning, that Farage wants Kent to be like the crown jewel. That's why he puts so much pressure, to which then, oh yeah, we're just going to have a meeting because you're our problem. You're not doing what you're told. You're asking too many questions. You're upsetting the apple cart. After all, he said, yeah, I think we should ask questions. I think we should scrutinize stuff. And he goes, oh yeah, it's such a toxic atmosphere. It's top down. You do what the leader says. I'd been given a dossier from, again, officials. Who are these officials? I think it's that unit down in London. That's what those officials are. I won't do those cuts. I think they are poorly thought out. Which, bear in mind, normally what a councillor should do, question, say, hey, don't really think we should go through ahead with these. Maybe we need to do some more thinking on them. That, of course, they are desperate for any good news to try and show, hey, look, this is how good we actually are governing. Not that actually, since we've come into running these councils, it's been an absolute cavalcade of incompetence. So, as always, let me know what you think about all this. But as always, thank you very much for watching. Do remember to click on the like and share button, and of course, ring the bell on your way out as well. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button as well. So, as always, we'll see you all next time.